It was a fantastic day on the island of Sodor, and Hank the American engine was boasting to Oliver. Well, Oliver, he said, do you like? I always fume how brill I am thinking about the time of the island of Sodor. So do you think so? Yes, said Oliver. Sure do, but I wish you would stop boasting. Grumbled Hank. Besides, I have no time. I'm going to do a job. And Hank puffed away. Reading curse, by the way, said Bert and Nert. Yeah, said Oliver. Look at him. Silly engine, said Toby. Yes, indeed, said Oliver, and they had to agree. Hank arrived, and what he didn't know was that the old bridge is broken, and it might have been damaged by a storm. So Thomas and the breakdown train were trying to mend it. Meanwhile, Hank was ready to be pushing a goods train to the junction where the other engines were waiting. So Hank puffed away and said this to himself. Oliver can't do everything right because of me, he said. I'm doing the work without him, and he also did. James was shocked. He knows where Hank was going, and he was ready for Plan B. What on earth is Hank doing? He said. What on earth is Hank doing? He said. He's heading for the broken bridge. It's too dangerous, and he's much too heavy. I must stop him. And James puffed away. Oliver again, I guess, said Hank. He thought it was Oliver and steamed faster and faster. But James wasn't being Oliver. He was trying to warn Hank. Stop, Hank! Stop! said James. But Hank was so cross. You're not stopping me, Oliver. It's not Oliver, it's James. Stop, Hank. Stop. You can't go there. It's dangerous. And you're much too heavy. But Hank didn't know that James was right, and with that, he was heading straight for the broken bridge. There he was at the junction, and there he was, straight for the broken bridge. And Thomas and the breakdown train haven't finished it yet. So Hank steamed so fast that he didn't know that this line is too slippery and easy enough. But just then, Hank arrived at the junction just in time. James was there, trying to stop him, but what Hank didn't know that this bridge is too heavy for a heavy engine like him. But Hank was too busy going faster. He was at the junction and realized that it was too slippery and too fast for a fast engine like him, and now he did wanted to stop. I'll have to stop, said Hank. Hank applied his brakes, but it was too late. The trucks were pulling him towards the broken bridge, and with that, the trucks were pulling him too hard as four of the trucks fell into the ravine. As four of the trucks fell down off the old bridge and into the river below. One truck fell down, and Hank was still destined to stop. Second fell down. James knew he was there. I'll save you, he said, but it was too late. The trucks were still pulling him as the third one fell down with him as well, and rocks and logs were never to be seen again. The last truck started pulling him, and the other fell down with him, fell down in the river below as well. And all the trucks were never seen again, as Hank was as Hank was ready to go near the bad side of the old broken bridge. It was ready to crack and break, and it was because it's going to break, and Hank was too heavy. Hank knew it was going to be the end of him. "Help me," said Hank. "I'm going to fall." Thomas was too busy, and the breakdown train can't reach him, so James has to help him. "Right," said James. "I'm ready." And with that, James knew this was going to be great. He was coupled to Hank. Hank nearly fell down as James pulled and pulled, and at last Hank was safe, and the last part of the broken bridge fell down. "Oh, thank you, James," said Hank. I thought you were Oliver. Now, you were right to warn me," he said. "It's all right," said James, and James was ready to take him back to the sheds. The Fat Controller was very disappointed in Hank. "Hank," he said, "I know you didn't mean it, but you should have listened. To what you shouldn't have run away from James in attempting to go near the junction and near the broken bridge. That bridge is too heavy for a heavy engine like you. And James," he said, "you are a really useful engine, and rescuing Hank was the right choice." "Thank you, sir," said James, and James was a really useful engine.